name is Samantha Carter.
We've already got one here.
There are two of us.
If only.
I was made in Samantha Carter's image. I know what she knows. I feel what she feels.
Hello there, welcome back to the channel. This is Nerd Empire. And today, Replicator Carter. Replicator Carter was a facsimile of Colonel Samantha Carter, a human of the planet Earth, affiliation of the Tauri. She was created, or rather it was created, as the Replicators didn't have genders. They merely presented however they were designed, or whatever they were designing to emulate at that particular time. The Replicator Carter, though, was created uniquely amongst any other created replicator with replicated memories, emotions and thoughts of the human Samantha Carter, giving her much of her personality but none of her soul, for lack of a better term. Before we get started in this breakdown, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. And let's begin. The Replicators are an interesting race. It's one of the reasons I decided to do this video. A lot of sci-fi franchises have your generic robot species, but this one stands out amongst sci-fi. They're well written. Their agenda was simplistic, very, very basic, but so efficient, so effective. They're not like other races like the Borg and other races in Star Trek that understanding them is not easy. In fact, the mysticism around the Borg is part of their appeal. The Replicators we can kind of understand. Replicator Carter, amongst all of them, we can certainly wrap our heads around. We'll refer to her as she does present as female generally, although it should again be noted, Replicators don't have genders. They simply appear as however they appear. But Carter was unique, again, because she had imprinted memory numbers. And that happened because Fifth, another replicator, who himself I have previously done a video on, hopefully the video right before this one, I don't know the order of upload that I'm doing at the moment, but in theory, it was a video before this one, he basically was obsessed with Carter. And when he couldn't have her, he basically made his own love doll. Gross to kind of think about. Replicators are weird. But anyway, she had all the same basic abilities that all replicators would have. Part of the greater hive. As a human form replicator, she had more personality and independence than your standard replicator, but was somewhat more psychotic, whereas Fifth was juvenile and petulant and callous and basically obsessive and compulsive. Carter was methodical, disciplined, focused on the goal of which bothered all replicators: to replicate. She merely wished to perpetuate that goal, absorb as much technology and knowledge and anything else she could get her hands on. When first encountered by any representative of the Milky Way galaxy, in this case the Tauri, who were her first target, it was under what would become a skill of hers, a false flag operation. She pretended that because she had Carter's memories, she basically thought she was Carter, despite the fact she was a replicator. Something similar would happen with Elizabeth Weir in Atlantis, although a bit different. This version of Carter wanted to escape the replicators and help defeat them, because she genuinely believed they were evil, and she believed that Fifth was going to not only be the end of all life in the Milky Way galaxy, but maybe even the undoing of the replicators themselves, as they'd been keeping her as something of a slave, which to the replicators was a very foreign concept. It turned out to, of course, not be true, and she would betray humanity. And I'm not going to do spoilers on this because the storyline of Replicator Carter is too awesome. Although I will say her escape from the Alpha site was pretty epic, as Teal'c attempted to wrestle her back through the Stargate, and the sort of eye-to-eye contact she gives him as her arm basically detaches. It's so cool. Other than that, spoiler, I'm not doing any spoilers. Later, another false flag operation, she would once again pretend to be Samantha Carter, where she would, possibly partly for her own amusement, allow herself to be captured by the Goa'uld system lords at their sort of meeting place, where she would then proceed to kill them while the replicator ship descended on them. The only tactical thought I can have as to why she may have done this is that if the replicators dropped out of hyperspace near to the station, A, they would have had a fight on their hands, and B, the system lords would have had time to transport away, get back to their ships, and scatter. It may have made it more difficult for Carter to achieve her goal of killing the system lords and wiping out the hierarchy of the Goa'uld. Carter, interestingly, would only live for about a year and a half. She was created in the year 2004 and would be destroyed, terminated, in the year 2005. She was attempting to gain access to the repository of knowledge that the ancients possessed by accessing it directly from Dr. Jackson's mind, while others, Goa'uld and Human and Jafar, attempted to find a solution to defeat the replicators once and for all, utilizing an ancient Alterran device, possibly a weapon, possibly not, specially modified to destroy replicator cells across the entire galaxy. The device, located on the planet of Takara, was originally used as a terraforming device, but it was now changed into a weapon to be used against the replicators. She, of course, wanted to stop this from happening, while at the same time gaining knowledge of it. And as Daniel would point out, the ancients knew so much that even the replicators with their vast intelligence couldn't memorize it all, but the replicators replicate at an exponential rate, and the more than there are, the more knowledge they can possess, because they're just basically one big hive mind. Again, not unlike the Borg. There's an easy comparison to be being drawn there. She would be destroyed at this time by said weapon. The effects she had on the Milky Way galaxy as a whole, and particularly on Colonel Samantha Carter of the Tauri, were not to be underestimated. She destroyed most of the Goa'uld system lords. She laid waste to the Goa'uld Empire. She practically brought the Asgard to their knees. And although it's safe to say that maybe they didn't outright defeat any one singular power, given a little bit more time, the Goa'uld have been around for thousands of years, the Asgard have been around for hundreds of thousands of years, and the replicators, particularly under Carter's leadership, brought them down, they laid them low. Carter had brought an extra dimension of thinking to the replicators, which they were not capable of without this modification, this transformation into this new form of replicator. It gave the replicators a desire for conquest and power more than just replicating, of course. Now, that being said, their main goal was still to replicate. It just was a happy bonus to also conquer territory. They had little interest in the people or organisms living within that territory, and would simply eliminate them if they posed a threat. Carter simply elevated that to, instead of maybe posing a threat, to definitely pose a threat, and we will destroy them. And that's simply the psychotic lunatic that Replicator Carter genuinely was. She was a menace to the galaxy, and Colonel Carter, the real one, took her very existence and her escape from the Alpha Site personally, and considered it her own mistake and failure to not capture her and maintain control over her for the security of Earth and the Milky Way galaxy as a whole, as well as to help save the Asgard. Even though she was not responsible for her existence, as she was the template upon which she was based, she somewhat felt responsible for her actions. This, of course, was not true, but it's very human of her to feel that way. It was something that the Replicator Carter was able to play on. And there we have Replicator Carter. Again, a fascinating character. One of Stargate's main strengths was creating extremely good villains. I've done a video, for example, previously on Lord Ball, an outstanding villain from the Stargate series, as well as many others. It's one of the things they did very well, particularly in the earlier seasons. I do have some reservations about the later seasons, but that's videos for another time. But it is something that Stargate definitely did very well, and this one in particular was an outstanding entry into that list. And let me know in the comments below what you think. There might be one more video in the Replicator series coming, but after that I'm flicking back to another franchise. And we're now at the end. I just want to take this moment to thank you for watching that video. If you liked what you saw, please check out my social links in the description box below to Instagram and Twitter and others, and also is down there a link to my Patreon page where you can support this channel and the others as I try to grow this franchise and do this more regularly. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you for watching, and bye bye.